I believe our session is about to begin, so welcome Professor Wilfred Whittle.
I can't claim that I'm a professor, but I like being called a professor, so that's fine, really. I'm more of a adjunct professor. Well, I'm a part-time adjunct professor in stamp art. I've written several books on the subject of critical examination of the art of stamps. Yes, it is a prestigious position. You should know. I've spoken to the lieutenant governor, and I received a citation from a police officer who was telling me I could not be on the property anymore.
So I want to get to why we're here.
Oh yes, of course. So I saw your ad that said that if you exhibited any strange or peculiar newfound abilities, we should reach out to you. It really started with just being able to kind of walk up the stairs without getting winded. And I thought, well, that's an improvement. There are certain books that were very heavy. And when I would lift them, I would make that sound. Oof. But no more oofing for me. And that's when I realized that perhaps I have somehow gotten super strength. And so I believe that I do not understand it. Perhaps aliens were involved. I put my super strength to the test. I grabbed hold of the bumper of a car and I tried to lift it, just like straight up lift it, and I pulled the fender right off. And so then I went around to the side and I tried to lift it from the side, but it kind of pulled apart. So really, I just ripped a car apart. But I think that counts as being super strong, wouldn't you think?
I think that's in the spectrum, yes.
I'm well aware of spectrums, yes.
I'm getting a reminder from my assistant Sarah, and she's saying I should record the fact that is one of the three main features of superhuman abilities.
I'm so superhuman. I appreciate that classification.
Classification. Interesting that you use that word. How does the word classification make you feel?
Oh, well, oftentimes it made me feel terrible because sometimes the classification was like weirdo. One was stalker. Possibly the worst was plaintiff, but superhuman as a classification. I oftentimes don't even feel human.
Yes, I sense you are feeling classified as more than human now. How have you used this ability?
I was going to the bank, as I do every Tuesday, and there was a robber. He's robbing the bank, and my money's in the bank, and his actions could actually affect my interest rate. So I go over to him, and I'm like, "Stop!" And he shoots me. And I don't know if you see it. It's right. It's right here. It's right here. The bullet hit me in the face, and I was like, "Ow! You shot me in the face!" And he was surprised because I think he was expecting more dramatic effect. And so I went over there and I said, "You should not shoot people." And I popped him in the head, and he exploded. The bank was very grateful that I stopped him, but I felt perhaps it was damaging to my psyche, and then I had to wash him off of me. I thought about it all night long. I was like, that poor person who had to clean that up, and that's my fault. That's on me. But the police, they did not want me there touching things. They said, don't touch things.
The scenario you described sounds, how shall I put it, violent.
My mother, she was a big proponent of physical punishment over psychological punishment. I'll never forget it. One time I was in the kitchen and I was, eating her food before it was, on the plates, and she hit me in the head with a wooden spoon. And she said, "Don't eat that." And you know what? I never did again. So I was just hitting the guy in the head to be like, "Hey, don't do that." It turns out that the force in my hand is in fact explosion causing.
This almost seems like a side effect of your ability, this explosive nature.
Yeah, I was thinking that too because the car came apart really easy too. And I tried to gauge it back and forth, and I'm really scared because I have a dog and like I don't want to pet it because I'm afraid that it's going to explode. I've been doing it all day. Every time I think I'm stopping before the exploding, it explodes, and I'm like, "Oh nope, I gotta be just a little sooner." I've been only doing it with like watermelons and soda cans and things like that, but I realized that I'm afraid to like shake hands because that's a very friendly thing to do. Not in today's day and age. I shouldn't just grab people or touch things.
No, I would say they might not accept a hug from you right now.
Because of the COVID-19 or because I explode things?
Having a super explosive COVID-19 hug is not at the top of everyone's list.
They wouldn't catch COVID-19 if they exploded.
This is true, that could be a somewhat absurd benefit. So I sense you are going down a good path with your practices of trying small steps.
It's interesting. My feet don't seem to have any ill effect. It's not like the floor explodes or, and I can't really jump. I'm not a good jumper. I never have been. But so I wonder if the strength is only in my upper body or maybe just my arms. So there's that.
There is that, but I would also mention that you were shot with a bullet.
In the face, which is interesting because I tried a knife right to the eye, and it just kind of just bent all over the place. And then I dropped like some heavy objects on my head, and I seem to be invulnerable.
Invulnerable.
Yes, that's what I am.
It's an accent on the ah.
I don't have an accent. I'm from here. I did stub my toe, and it hurt like the dickens. Like when I press it, it's like ow, ow.
Just to circumvent any future disasters, I wouldn't have my hands poking at my feet.
You're so smart. I might have exploded my feet.
I'd like to shift focus for a moment to your day-to-day employment. How has that been affected?
Basically, my employment involves me looking at a stamp and then deciding whether or not I like it. I usually can do 10 to 20 stamps a day, but now I do more like 3 or 4 stamps a day, and that is a diminished work schedule. I do occasionally look for criminals.
Really? That is very interesting.
I got an app on my phone. Well, an app on my 4th phone, which is a police scanner. And so now when I hear that there's crime within walking distance of me, I go and see if I can help. So far, I have not helped much. But one day, very seriously considering investing in a mask. Not the mask that we all wear, but a mask up here. It might be a whole mask because I still want to cover this, but covering the other part is equally important right now. I think I could get in trouble if I'm always at crime scenes where people explode.
Yes, I think eventually the law will catch up with you.
Is it possible to be a bad guy while trying to be a good guy, because I'm worried that I'm not a good guy, but I want to be. I want to stop bad guys, but the way I stop them seems bad. I'm confused. Um, uh, I was told by a neighbor there was a drug dealer who lived on our street, and so I um, pushed his house over, and then it turned out that he was just diabetic. Yeah, I felt really bad, but I didn't come forward when people were like, "What happened to his house?" So I'm letting insurance handle that, because I think the insurance company was like, something happened and they're paying out. So that's good. He was at home, but he wasn't in a part of the home that fell down a lot. I think he broke his leg, maybe. I sent flowers.
I think the flowers may have helped.
I hope so. They were pretty flowers, and I went through like 5 vases.
I think it's vase. The accent's on the E.
Oh, I don't have an accent. I'm from here. I'm having trouble, doctor, because maybe I'm not a good guy. What if I chose to be more of a bad guy? I think that's easier, isn't it? And I literally was thinking that if I went at night, I could like break down a wall and pull all the money out of a bank. I mean, and I have, things that I want to buy. I have wanted one of those hoverboard things for a long time, but they're expensive. So it's possible, right? I found a layer for sale a couple days ago, and I think I can talk them down on the price.
You should probably invest in a layer
I
at this
think
point.
it works. It's subterranean. They say that I can install a volcano if I wanted to. So I'm going to research it. Is it in a good school district, that kind of thing. I'm going to call you back. I need another session,
Okay.
because I thought that you would help me kind of decide, but now I'm kind of more confused.
Well, I think every decision must come from yourself, but eventually it will be your decision whether you will be a bad guy or a good guy, or the third option, a person with abilities.
I could do that. I could just be a person that can do stuff.
You could help someone around the house if they need something exploded. That's an option.
Yes, not for good, not for bad, but for business. For business. Okay, that sounds great. If you could just point me in a direction, any direction, really, I'll take it. I keep hearing about this one guy who wants to blow up his wife. I should talk to him.
You should probably stay away from him. That's my advice.
Oh, that's why you are the doctor and I am the adjunct part-time professor.
Well, I think we've had a productive session today. I've taken generous notes. And also, I'd like to ask if you could give me a good Yelp review.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're clearly the best Thai restaurant I've ever been to.
All right, I'm signing off now.